Thank you, Israel. Appreciate it. I'm not going to walk through slides. I don't like it when founders walk through slides on pitches, so I'm not going to put you through that. I'll tell you a little bit of background on the firm, and it will give you context on why we invest the way we invest at NewStack. So I was in corporate America. I was a finance guy, did M&A, and found myself in an entrepreneurial role where I launched a new innovative technology. This technology was a reinvention for how compounds are tested in drinking water. And we got really lucky and really fortunate with that product. It did over 100 million in revenue its first year. And I was able to leave corporate America when I was 32. This is 10 years ago. And I moved back to Chicago. We had been out west, but moved back to Chicago, and I started investing in startups. And quickly I realized that access to capital was incredibly constrained in the middle of the country, in the middle of the United States. And as our profile grew and as we did more investments, we became one of the first syndicates on AngelList. I know Ali is here too. He does great investments there with First Check. But we started doing investments on AngelList, and we saw this big gap in the market. There are entrepreneurs out there that have incredible mindsets and all the capability of their San Francisco and New York counterparts, but they can't get access to funding. Gender plays a role. Race plays a role, but education, if you didn't go to Stanford or Harvard, that plays a role. Your experience, if you didn't work at Google or one of the FAANG companies, there's some hot startup, that's valued at over $1 billion, that plays a role. And finally, and probably most importantly, just where you're located. If location alone can prevent incredible, tenacious, category-defining founders from accessing the capital that they deserve. And we saw this disconnect, right? The VC market was growing. We read about these huge rounds in TechCrunch. Valuations are expanding, and yet the founders in the middle of the country, in Chicago and Minneapolis and Indianapolis and even places like Atlanta, Salt Lake City, they could not get the funding at pre-seed and seed, or even the angel rounds. I came across this tweet from Jason Lemkin recently, and he said, the new mega seed funds help firms win the obvious seed deals. They are so competitive now. The deals with the right teams, the right schools, the right spin-outs, and epic but early traction. The non-obvious seed deals still have a dearth of capital. So here we started this firm in 2015. I started investing in 2013, and this problem persists. Even today, it's 2022, and the best founders building the best companies still can't access the capital that they merit just because they're not located in the predominant tech hubs. So we've built a firm with a thesis investing in outsiders. We invest in those folks that aren't located in the Bay Area and didn't go to Stanford and didn't work for Google, but they have all the ability, and in many cases even more so, because they have more to prove than their counterparts that are located in the Valley. So at NewStack, we invest in outsiders. We are outsiders. I never worked for a big tech company. I didn't spin out from a major venture firm. So we've had to earn everything we've gotten. We're a startup too. NewStack's a startup. It's led by a bunch of outsiders. None of us have Ivy League provenance or big tech experience. And yet we've produced a top decile fund since 2015. Our thesis is to lead and co-lead angel, pre-seed, and seed deals. Our average check size is $1 million. We predominantly invest in enterprise SaaS. It's about 80% of what we do, but we're generalists. So we've done a little consumer and we've done some deep tech too. I would say the major areas are fintech, prop tech, supply chain, healthcare, and e-commerce. And fortunately for us, we just closed our first deal in Mexico an amazing company called Digit that's based in Guadalajara. We have conviction to invest in Latin America. We want to do more deals in Mexico and beyond. And again, we're New Stack Ventures, and we invest in outsiders.